Right now, our biggest challenge is staffing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's
Everybody's.
everybody's kind of globally saying that, or at least in this country, in this region. It's been hard to hire staff. We've grown so much with 1,900 employees. We have about 1,100 in the warehouse. So those kind of entry-level warehouse people getting their first, second job, it's really hard to find the right people, on a consistent basis.
And when you say the right people, define that.
Boy, without getting in trouble.
Yeah.
No, I think some of our challenges in hiring have been people working on a assigned schedule.
They want to work their hours, not yours.
Pretty much.
Okay. It's not a problem.
Having them work the schedule that we want, kind of based on like when customers' orders come in. It seems like a logical thing to us.
Yeah. What do you think the future holds? What do you see on the horizon?
For employment or otherwise?
I'm gonna leave it open.
So the things that give me heartburn right now.
Yes.
China tariffs give me extreme heartburn.
Okay.
We are now a global company selling globally. 2 of our largest competitors are in the UK, so they're buying the same parts and they pay 25% less than we do for them.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really raise my prices 25%. I have to meet, our competitors' pricing. So that is a challenge. And that just started, but it's definitely affecting our margins. So that's a challenge in, trade wars and everything. I mean, I don't think anybody's ever proved that they've been a successful item to grow the economy. So that's a challenge. The other thing right now that's very challenging is our suppliers, believe it or not, cannot keep up with demand. And so if they can't meet demand, we have actually been told that some of our most popular parts, we can't buy them.
Really?
Yes. There are certain products, and basically the manufacturers are devoting it all to the largest users, such as an Apple or such as the automotive company.
So they get first dibs on.
They're getting
Okay.
first dibs on certain product.
So how will that eventually impact?
Well, it's really a problem for us as far as, our customer base and the way we go to market is we target design engineers. So when we say we're selling orders, it's a lot of small orders, not the big production orders. But if you can't have some of the parts that are in shortage are actually low dollar, really cheap parts, but they're very necessary, like capacitors, resistors, to make the circuit work. Eventually, if the production problems continue to occur, it will actually have an impact on, the higher end parts like the semiconductors, the brains of the board. But what will happen is it's no use building a board with really good brains if you can't control the circuit and power through it. And if you don't have those other surrounding parts, you can't really build
Can't do
it.
it.
So eventually it could start leading to problems in the other product lines.
So why do they have a problem manufacturing? What's the problem on that end?
First of all, demand has skyrocketed.
Uh-huh.
You hear about IoT, and so the demand has increased tremendously for some of these products. People are building them into everything. They're trying things and experimenting. So the demand is very great. The parts are very cheap. So historically, our industry has a lot of ups and down cycles. And the manufacturers say they don't want to go crazy building capacity and then to have it crash. So they're trying to be very patient on their capacity growth and make sure, is it real or not? Part of the problem is that these cheaper parts, there's no money in it to a large extent. So they're spending their resources and their capacity on a similar part that does more, that will get them more, more ASP, more dollars per part or whatever. So they would like to transition from those cheap parts to the more expensive parts.
Will it increase the pricing on some of those parts?
I mean, we're not doing a lot of discounting right now.
Okay.
So yes, prices are increasing.
Okay. Do you see changes in what Mauser does in the future?
Not drastically. I mean, obviously we're always changing, but our basic model of providing what the engineer needs, the newest products, where we are different than most companies is what we do is we will talk with the supplier, our key suppliers are Texas Instruments and Analog Devices, and we'll basically say, what's your newest products that are on the horizon? And then what we do is we will actually market those new products. We'll put them on the shelf. So we make an investment in new products before there's any customers for them, which is unusual. So we will do that, and we'll start marketing, and then we'll start selling them. With the goal is that we'll be selling to design engineers. So eventually, it will be the next hot product, and that's what TI and our other suppliers what they want from us.
If there was one piece of advice that you could give to an entrepreneur, what would it be?
To an entrepreneur?
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously I started with a brand new business, or with an existing business. So from an entrepreneur standpoint, there's some very basics. Have a plan, have money. I think those are the key things to get a business. Which usually most entrepreneurs don't have.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they don't.
But to be really successful, there's a lot of you hear about small businesses generating all the growth and the jobs, but what are the statistics for every one? There's 10 others that fail trying to do the same thing. So it's, that's the hard thing. We have purchased a couple small companies, and, primarily the reason they were willing to be bought is because they had, basically reached their limits. From the capital standpoint, they couldn't keep growing like they wanted to grow, or they needed certain resources that we were able to provide.
Okay. Well, to be respectful of everybody's time, it is 9 o'clock.
Wow.
So we are going to conclude. It went fast, and you didn't think you'd have anything to say.